How hot is too hot to handle? If you've stepped outside lately, you're probably asking yourself this question. With India in the grip of a severe heat wave, it's becoming nearly impossible to get any work done outside. But have you ever wondered how we measure humidity or why it makes the heat feel even worse? Humidity is recorded using three key temperatures: dry bulb, wet bulb, and dew point. These measurements help determine the state of humid air. Now, why does this matter? With just two of these values, experts can figure out the water vapor content in the air, as well as help us understand why we're sweating so much and why the heat feels so intense. With such a risk staring at millions of workers without air-conditioned workspaces, we need to wrap our heads around wet bulb heat as a concept. In simple terms, it is the lowest temperature that can be reached by evaporating water into the air at a constant pressure. It's measured by covering a thermometer bulb with a wet cloth and letting the water evaporate, which cools the thermometer. This temperature helps measure humidity and indicates how much water can evaporate into thin air, impacting comfort, agriculture, and weather patterns. So why does the wet bulb temperature matter? The wet bulb temperature directly affects our body's ability to cool down through sweating. When the wet bulb temperature is low, sweat evaporates easily, cooling us down. However, as it increases, higher moisture levels in the air make it harder for sweat to evaporate. This can lead to serious health issues like heat exhaustion or heat stroke if we're exposed to high wet bulb temperatures for too long. And most importantly, we should remember that when the wet bulb temperature reaches 35 degrees Celsius, our natural cooling system hits its limit. At this temperature, even the healthiest individuals with an unlimited water supply can only survive for a few hours before succumbing to the heat. Therefore, the critical threshold for human survival in wet bulb temperatures is 35 degrees Celsius. Current trends suggest that much of our population could be vulnerable to dangerous wet bulb heat by mid-century. Additionally, the energy required to keep people safe and cool could be enormous, creating a vicious cycle if not managed properly. Achieving carbon neutrality by the year 2070 while adopting clean tech options will be challenging. So the next time you're sweating buckets just by standing outside, remember, it's not just the heat, it's the humidity too. And the big question that remains is, can we afford to wait and see what happens? Well, the risks are just too severe to ignore.